This lesson, we're going to be showing you how to add an event listener, and this is where you can make JavaScript interactive with the elements on the page. We already have our button, and we want to make this button interactive. In the earlier lesson, we saw how we can set the inner HTML, and we're going to update this because we've got that button object. And then within the button object, we've got a number of methods that we can add in. So these are built in within JavaScript, available within every one of these element objects. We can add event listener, and then we need to specify the type of event listener that we're listening for. We're listening for a click, so we want to make this button clickable. And then once the button gets clicked, then we want to invoke a function. We're just going to do an anonymous function, so it's going to be a function without a name. It's going to run anonymously within the event listener whenever the button gets clicked. For now, let's output something within our console, and we can just type in click within the console. Try it out, so refresh, and when we click it, we can see that the click shows up within our console. That means that this block of code is being run every time the button is clicked. Now, we want to also select our output element. So that's going back to our index.html. We have an element with a class of output. So we're going to use the same format as we did before with document and then query selector. And as we've only got that one element with that class, and then selecting the first one, of course, on the page. So grabbing it using the same syntax we would with CSS, where we do a dot for classes, that's going to grab that output into our HTML. And the next step that we want to do is we want to take that output and we want to update the inner text of that output. And we can output that to, let's click out to output. So refresh. So what do you think is going to happen now when I click the button? Going through the code, you can see that we've added an event listener to the object, the button object. And whenever it gets clicked, it runs this block of code. So we're going to console log out the word click. And then we're also going to update the output element inner text to the word output. So let's try that out. So go ahead and click it. And you can see that we've got output being displayed there. So the next part is that we want to add in and grab the value of our input field here and output that into our output area. So I'll show you how to do that in the upcoming lesson. You can go ahead and give it a try, and I'll show you the solution coming up. So next challenge was to grab whatever the value of the input here is and output it within the output class element. Try it out for yourself.